All right, what's up, my brothers? So it was brought to my attention that a gal on TikTok is very upset right now about her life situation. She's an employee. She's having a little bit of a hissy fit. It's about a minute and a half. I'll play it and give you a little bit of a reaction.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective here. You've been working for 20 years. You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have 20 years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you created. You can sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills. And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined. We can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did. You let it all run to hell. And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes.
Got it. Okay, so she's a little upset, is putting it lightly. There's a few things to unpack there. I guess let's deal with the economy statement that she made. She's pointing at the viewers, complaining about, what's being reported in the news as far as Gen Z being lazy. I haven't seen a whole lot in the news about Gen Z being lazy. For those of you that don't know, that's 12 to about 27, if I'm not mistaken. So let's assume she's in her early 20s. Sounds like she's living at home with her parents. The state of the economy is a net result of the voting practices of most of North America, if we're being honest, which kind of suck. They mostly vote left for socialist policies, high taxation, large minimum wages. When the minimum wages go up, that forces a lot of employers. We've seen McDonald's recently announce that they're going fully automated with some of their outlets, meaning it's just run completely by automation, by robots. So you can go in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the robots never call in sick, don't get pregnant, don't need time off. Don't get their feelings hurt by what somebody said in the back of the kitchen or something like that. So a lot of the policies that she's complaining about are really a net result of bad voting practices. People, if they want a better economy to live in, what you want to vote for is lower taxes, more freedoms, less government involvement, which essentially means voting libertarian, which people never vote for. They always want handouts. They put out their hand, they want free shit. So this is what you get. You get your free experimental vaccinations, from the government, mandated. They tell you where and when you can't go. And, if you're in the lower end of the income spectrum, they tax you lower and they say, vote for us, we'll tax you lower, sort of thing. But as you can see, she's struggling. Now, as I sort of go back in my head and I think about where I was at when I was in my mid to early 20s, I had just come back from England. My parents had relocated back over there and I was by myself in Canada. I rented a room from one of my friend's moms, and actually me and another friend rented 2 rooms from her, which cost us about, $400, maybe $380 a month. We didn't stay there very long. We ended up getting another roommate and renting a house, which was $1,600 a month, and we split it 3 ways. So I'm 21 at the time, and I was earning, I think, $1,600 a month. I was pretty broke. I really didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I did have my motorcycle, which I had bought a few years earlier, that I pulled out of storage when I came back from England. Wasn't worth much, maybe $4,000 or $5,000. It was a Katana 600. I got my editor to put up a quick picture, but I didn't have a whole lot to show for myself either. But I improvised. I don't think this is a issue of Gen Z being dogged in the media, I think was a word that she used. What does that mean? Being insulted? They're being called out because they're not, because they don't want to work. I think that's more or less what I've seen in interviews from certain entrepreneurs. I've seen certain business owners and entrepreneurs say a lot of the Gen Z aged kids out there don't really want to work. they've got job postings and listings out there, but they can't find employees to hire. I remember I was at a restaurant a couple of years ago and they were locked, and I was going out for dinner, with my gal, and I see them inside and the door's locked, and I'm like, okay, maybe they just haven't opened yet, or the kitchen's warming up. 30, 40 seconds later, the owner comes to the door and he opens it and he's like, dude, I'm really, really sorry. We can't open today. My staff aren't coming in. I'm having a really hard time, getting people to work. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, these guys get paid in tips mostly. Like, they generally get paid well. So I think this is just, a complaint that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs have is like, I'm paying the minimum wage that the government's forcing me to pay, but I still can't find people. People are lazy. She's a Walmart employee. You can tell by her little vest. Who knows? She's a greeter, she's a cashier. I don't know. Whatever it is at the end of the day, it's not making her happy because she's living at home and she doesn't have enough money to pay bills. I mean, look, at least she's not an OnlyFans creator, an entrepreneur, whatever it is they call themselves these days, selling pictures of their butthole online to Sims. At least she's doing something else. Granted, the position that she's sitting in right now in her car with food in her belly and clearly a roof over her head is a position that the vast majority of the world's population does not enjoy. So again, the vast majority of the world's population would happily trade their position for the position that she's in today. In a warm house with a roof over her head, food in her belly, a job to go to make some money, and a car to sit in to complain about it on social media, probably on her brand new $1,500 iPhone, right? Is it a problem for her? Clearly. Is the problem the world or is it her? I'm going to take a little plot twist here for you, boys and girls. I'm going to tell you something. You can look in the mirror directly. I look at my mirror over here. I can look in the mirror directly and blame myself for any shit result that I get out of life. I will never blame the government, whoever the president is, any of those things for any shit results I get out of my life. That is 100% on me. The problem with this gal is a total lack of ownership. The problem is not with minimum wages, with policies, with the government, or anything that you might think it might be. The problem with this gal is a total lack of any kind of ownership. That's what's going on here. This is the problem with Gen Z. It's not they're lazy or they don't want to work or nothing's going on or they don't have jobs to go to. There's plenty of people that are willing to hire. What the problem is a lot of these kids are unwilling to take ownership for the results that they're getting out of their life, and they feel it a good use of time to sit online and complain about it to anybody that's willing to hear the story. I don't want to hear the media dog my generation because of what we're doing. You're making a shit choice. If you think that you're going to earn a living wage, basically working at minimum wage at a retail outlet, greeting people at the door when they walk in, or scanning things and, checking credit cards and here's your receipt, sir. That skill that doesn't pay very much. There's lots of other things that you can do that pay a lot more. I mean, she's an attractive gal. There's a lot of other things that she could be doing, i.e. putting herself out there either as a professional, working somewhere that pays a lot more money, or being in the frame of a high value guy in a position where she's looking to, have a family and raise kids sort of thing, which is generally what I find most women anyway, tend to regret when they get in their 40s. They were sold the lie that they should go and climb the corporate ladder, get degrees, work the job, get promotions, buy the Tesla, rent the house, buy the condo, furnish it with their IKEA bullshit, and go and do all of those things, and they end up single in their 40s, unhappy, complaining about some brand new other thing. Why don't guys want to take me seriously? I'm a strong, independent woman, boss girl, blah, blah, blah. It's the victim mindset. And I'll tell you something, the victim mindset is a loser's mindset. If they don't fix that, Gen Z people, if they're not willing to take a look in the mirror and take ownership for the results that they've gotten and stop blaming other people or what's in the media or in the news for what's going on in their world, they're going to continue to go through that cycle year after year, decade after decade, until they're back again on social media going, I don't understand why no man wants me. I'm a successful 40-something-year-old woman with a degree after degree. but they don't tell you about their student debt. They don't tell you about the unhappiness that they live through. They don't tell you about how they envy their friends for having kids and they don't have anything going on. It's this vicious cycle of a victim mindset, and I see it everywhere. It's not just Gen Z. It's with every person that wants to essentially turn on a social media platform that will allow them to broadcast and speak and go, you're mean to me, and I don't understand why I don't get what I want. You guys could get what you want when you were kids. Bro, I improvised. When I was in my 20s, I was broke as fuck, driving a 3-cylinder, a 1-liter Suzuki Forza, I think it was called, was my winter car, or my daily car, which cost me like $700. It was a total piece of shit. I'm sure you can find pieces of shit today for next to nothing as well. And I rode an okay decent motorcycle. That's where I was at that age, but I wasn't bitching about it. I lowered my cost of living. I improvised. I had other people come in, and live in the house and share the rent, and we figured it out. Anyway, what do you guys think? Pin in the top comment. There's a bunch of useful links you should definitely check out. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.